All right, guys, we're going to come at you with something a little different today. How about a Silverado Drift Truck? All right, guys, so I'm Ben, Smithson Speed and Engineering. This is my buddy, Jonathan Fitzpatrick. Some people call him Wong, but he is the owner of this fine piece of American muscle iron that you see in front of you. All right, so Wong, I've known you a long time. I know that you've had this truck for a long time, but I remember this used to be your daily driver, correct?
Yeah.
So give us a little backstory on, I guess, from then to now, what all you've done to it, you know, even before it got to us, and then kind of what we've done to it, I can talk about, and then just really why you wanted this work done and what you're gonna do with it.
Yeah, I mean, I've had this truck since I was 18, 19 years old. I traded some stuff to my dad for it and drove it every day. It's been to Key West. I've drove this thing all the way to Key West.
So, I mean, this truck too, if I remember correctly, you know, it's looked very similar to this for the whole time.
Yeah.
And this was from the factory, a 5.3 4L60E, original two-wheel drive truck, right?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
5.3 and drove it till it had 250-something thousand miles.
And that was on the factory drivetrain?
Yeah, nothing's been done. So,
Okay.
well, went through transmissions left and right. I think I rebuilt the transmission 3 or 4 times. I was so fed up with automatics. I always wanted to do a 6-speed swap, but didn't want to spend the money at the time. And then one day I was leaving my buddy's wedding and blew the motor up on the back roads playing. And I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna put a hot rod motor in it and eventually change the transmission.
And so this thing, right, so now it's got an LS6, right? And it's funny, backstory on that even, is that I was building a 66 Chevelle for myself. It was a personal car before I started the shop, and had this pull-out LS6. I had a Texas Speed 228R cam that I purchased all to go together in this thing. And once I started the shop, I just kind of ran out of time to work on it. It just sat around, just taking a bay up essentially, and we weren't being able to work on it. So I ended up actually pulling that motor and transmission out of the Chevelle and sold it to him. And what was that, like 5-6 years ago, probably?
5 years ago, yeah.
And so him and one of our other buddies, Jonathan Pritchard, just threw that cam
And
in.
my brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law, yeah.
Brother-in-law.
And threw that motor and transmission in that back then when I sold it to him. That was kind of a weird thing. We never knew.
Yeah, I had it with just that motor and cam and stuff in it for a while, and made a little bit of power. Still had an automatic in it though. Took it to LS Fest and drag raced and did all sorts of fun stuff with it. But then on the second year I was taking it to LS Fest, on the way there at 5 o'clock in the morning, I was running out some speed, and the drive shaft come out of it at a high rate of speed.
Yeah, you're lucky that didn't end up going over a lot worse than it
Oh,
did.
it could have been so bad.
Yeah.
For real, could have been so bad. Yeah, I mean, the truck took a big hop, and I mean, I almost lost on the interstate. It was crazy. That's whenever I was like, you know what? It's time for a manual.
All right, so this truck came in like that, you know, had the LS6 cam already in it, smoked, grenaded 4L60E, the whole tail housing. I mean, the tail shaft was just blown apart. It was grenaded. So it came to us like that, and then we kind of sat down trying to get a good vision and I guess a scope of work on what we wanted to do, and it kind of grew from there as well as we progressed. But the big thing was obviously we wanted to do a T-56 Magnum in this, and we went to American Powertrain and got that from them. So T-56 Magnum, we used a factory Silverado clutch pedal assembly that we got and then retrofitted in there. We did that. We had the one-piece aluminum drive shaft built for it, and then I think that's about it, right? The first, so we put some knuckles on it, right, to get some more angle out of the steering.
Yep.
And when we did that, we had to change the front springs and shocks, and we went ahead and put shocks on the rear as well while we were at it, I believe, just to kind of tighten a few things up. It already had cow tracks on it, which it still does. That was the first kind of iteration of that. Oh, the other thing, we put a handbrake in it. So you see we built the entire mount for the handbrake. We went to Willwood, got the handbrake, and then we got the calipers from them, and we set that up, made some brackets on the factory 10-bolt rear end. Not too long after that, I think we gave that thing back to you, and you had it, what, like 2 or 3 weeks, I think? But you said you put like 1,200 miles on it or something like that?
I think I had it 2 weeks and put right at like 1,000 miles on it. I was at my buddy's lake house, and he wanted to go for a ride for the first time. I was like, yeah, jump in. So took it on some back roads, some closed roads. And
in Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico. It was in Mexico. Yeah, good trip. Yeah, so we were going down the back road, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna slide it for him one time. And as soon as I clutched it, it made a heck of a noise, and I was like, ooh, that wasn't good. And it progressively got worse and worse and worse. And eventually it had to just stop. I looked and everything was spinning except the pinion on the rear end. So I was like, well, I called my buddy Ben and was like, hey, I'm gonna need a rear end for this truck.
Yeah, so that's the second iteration. You know, we did this 6-speed swap, new drive shaft, some suspension stuff and whatnot. And then a couple weeks later, it came back on a trailer, right? So we went to Mosier Engineering. We got a 9-inch, that's a kind of direct fit 9-inch for it, 35 spline axles and a spool. So since he's planning on drifting this thing quite a bit, that was the differential we went with, and drives it on the street every day, it seems like. So now we did that, and he's got it back. You've had it back for a while now, and I know you've beat on this thing quite a bit.
Beat on it every day. It's been good so far.
So this is like your daily driver, right?
It is my daily. I drove it to work today. That's the reason it's dirty. I wasn't expecting to do this today, and I had my pit bike in here from yesterday. So, I mean, I use this truck like it's your daily driving truck. You know, it's a little hard taking, pulling in parking spots because the rear end wants to just jam up everywhere, but you need that. So,
yeah. You feel like you figured out that handbrake, how to drive it and slide it around now?
Oh yeah, I think you've seen.
And so, another thing I think you did right after you got this back from when we did the 6-speed swap, right? You used to put tires on all the way around.
Those are 2-week-old.
Those tires, these rear tires
2 weeks.
You look like a street slick right now. I mean, I don't even see any tread on them things. So, but no, trucks, it's good. I mean, again, it's a fun truck. I've rode in it. I've seen videos, but I think it turned out really well. 3 pedals is always fun on something like that.
It's the only way to be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. I don't think you missed that 4L60 at all for multiple reasons. Huh?
Definitely not. I never want another automatic again, to be honest.
So what I'm getting at is the intended use is pretty much daily driver right now.
Yeah.
And then when you want to get rowdy and have some fun, you got the handbrake in there and the clutch pedal, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
it's what I wanted. It's what I always wanted since high school. I wanted a truck that I could daily drive, go to work in, play on the back roads on the way home. It does good for that, but I also do intend on doing like different drift events around, local areas. It'll probably be on a trailer quite a bit too, going to different drift events just in case I can't make it home. That's kind of, a daily truck / race truck. That's what I always wanted. I wanted AC heat, something comfortable to drive. So
you can pick up your date in it, right? She won't be.
Oh yeah.
She'll be comfortable.
Hey, if they got a problem with this, I don't want them.
Gotcha. Well, I'm glad that you brought it to us, and it's fun. This is a lot different than what you've normally seen us work on, right? So we're normally working on, I guess, a little bit older vehicles and more on the show car side versus the motorsport side. We do a ton of business with Willwood, and they've been great to work with through this whole process. Cause, there was a lot of learning we need to do, but this truck has 6 piston Willwoods on the front. It's got 4 pistons on the back for the regular braking, and then we also put an additional set of 4 piston calipers on the rear just for the handbrake. And everything has worked out really nice. Joe at Willwood's been great to work with, kind of helped set us up with what we need. And then again, like I said, the 6-speed, the handbrake, I believe it's been a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see what you do. I think here later this month, you're going to Alabama, right, for a drift event?
Yep.
So go down there and check this thing out. We may have some content coming from that event as well, so we can see what this thing really does on a closed course with a professional driver, right?
Yeah, professional, semi-professional.
Semi-professional, yeah. But no, it's been fun, and this is, again, a little different what we've done. We've enjoyed it a lot, though, so, and again, I think Wong has as well. So we appreciate y'all checking us out. If you like what you see, we've got other videos. Check out our YouTube channel, and we'll bring you some more content soon.
Yeah.